Okay, Jon Snow's turn for a water change, and what I thought I'd do is I always plan to get rid of this tiny little sponge filter because it's really small, and to be honest I want another one like that. The actual holes in the sponge is bigger and it's bigger. That's only a tiny one. I just put it in there because that's all I had at the time. But what I've got is a spare one from the garden now, because these are I don't really use these in the garden anymore because they're not coarse sponge. So that's been sort of bleached and thoroughly rinsed. And I've done what I did the other day, because this is the area that blocks really easy in there. I don't know if you can see that. Where the air comes out, there's only a tiny gap and they can block really easy. So I've broke off that, and I've broke off, taking out the insides. Taken out the insides completely, but left the top bit because that holds the hose, the airline in, holds it, like grips it. So I've left that in place. So I need to get that into the tank. Right, what I have done is this one, rather than just having the tube at the bottom, I've actually put an air stone at the bottom of this one, and I'll have that at the bottom of the sponge filter. Mainly because it quietens it down a bit, so we can hear TV. Right, so I'll get that in, get that all together and put it in the tank. Right, that's that in. I forgot to have the hose on, so I had to get back out again to pull it apart, thread that over the airline, because that obviously that stops Jon Snow from biting the airline. There's quite a bit of a gap there though. Need a bit more on there really. What I can do is cut another little section and just use electric tie to hold it on, like that one. I think I might do that, because any kind of gap of the airline, Johnny Snow bites it, don't you? Naughty. She got into his habit a while ago of biting the airlines. God, it's worrying. Especially if she's ended up biting like the heater cable. So I've got garden hose on there as well. You're naughty. Right, so yeah, I'm gonna cut a bit more hose and put it on with an electric tie, I think, just to take up that bit more of that gap. Right, yeah, so I got another bit of garden hose, slit it rather than taking it all apart again, and then put a cable tie on just to hold it in place. And that's going to just take up a bit more of that, so it's not so tempting to bite. That'd be enough, I reckon. Nice juice sponge filter. That's why I like having two sponge filters in one tank. Obviously better air and oxygen and filtration and what have you, but also you can do maintenance to one, completely swap it or clean it or whatever, and you still got the beneficial bacteria in the other sponge filter. So best of both worlds. Gives you a lot of flexibility. I don't like relying on one sponge filter in one tank, to be honest. I like them, but you do need to clean them and everything, and sometimes you might need to change it completely. So you're always better off having more than less. Also, it's quite handy to take out if you want to start another tank up, you know, because it's holding the beneficial bacteria already. Right, let's get the lid on. What am I talking about? Get the lid on. I've got to do the water change. I've got a siphon. I siphon that end first, because that's her bed end. I call that her bed end, and she don't mind. She likes me siphoning that area. But when that's done, and I come up here and start siphoning here, she starts charging the hose, saying, "Get out my tank." But she does like me doing her bed end first. And she leaves me alone when I do that. It's bizarre. But as soon as I come up here, she starts charging the hose, telling me to get out. Right, water change time. All that will be gone in a minute. Yee. All that mess. There's quite a bit over there actually. Well, I thought I might as well show this while I'm doing all this as well. This isn't the hose I use to siphon out, and it basically goes all the way outside the house. I've already sucked on it with a t-shirt over, with a tea towel over, so I don't get any bugs. and the siphon is running. So then I go and suck up all the bits with a hose. Siphoning time in Jon Snow's world. Get out of the way, I want to show them. I want to show them the bits going up. There you go. Look at that. Magic. I quite enjoy siphoning and doing the water changes. Before you know it, especially these little tanks, before you know it, you siphon it all up. Look at that. Ooh. Go on. Go on. She's letting me do her bed. She leaves me alone when I do her bed end. Right, that's the siphoning done. And the water's about an 80% water change. Time to get some water in. That's the water going in. Let's pop some. I use sodium thiosulfate because I only live in a small area, so there's no chloramines in my water, just chlorine. So in that goes. And I basically have a hose that goes straight from the taps. Cut the T-tails on the top, that's it all. This is a hose connector. I don't want to take it off, water shoot everywhere. And I control the temperature on the old combi boiler. Turn it right down. I just got her every now and then, just put a little bit of cold in with a mixer as I keep track of the temperature. Water's going in. Right, that's the fresh water change for Jon Snow, and the new sponge filter, bigger sponge filters in with its protection so you don't bite it. Alright, she loves the water change.